Here is a super easy form of fitness. Throw on a weighted vest and go for a walk. You could also have, some weights around your wrist or some ankle weights. Carrying weights would be pretty difficult because you'd be kind of limited by your grip. But I suppose, like, if you wanted to, you can try to, carry like one dumbbell and maybe pass it back and forth a little bit here and there. Just going on a walk. Another way to increase the heart rate is just to move more. So as I'm going up the hill, I can do a little bit of these guys. I can throw some punches. And people might think that you look weird. I got this weighted vest on, but everybody knows you're outside exercising anyway. So if you're to drop down and do 10 push-ups and stuff like that, you shouldn't feel weird or be embarrassed about that. And if you want to throw some punches, you're not trying to be a tough guy or anything. You're just trying to get some extra movement in. But if you have something that can track your heart, it's really simple. You can look at and see where your heart rate is. Mine's at 119 right now. That's pretty good. That's pretty high for, I'm not like running or anything, right? I'm just walking up the hill and just moving around a little extra. Another thing I love doing with these walks is I love to take this opportunity to learn. And I'm sure you all have a smartphone. And so with the smartphone, I'll listen to YouTube. I have like YouTube Premiere or whatever it's called, or YouTube Red or whatever the hell it was. I bought it years ago. I can listen to a YouTube message, and I can even scroll through Instagram at the same time, or email or text. So sometimes on my walk, even though I don't like the distraction of it, if I needed to do a little bit of work right now, I could have my headphones on. I could be listening to a podcast, which I was doing earlier today, and I was setting up a bunch of appointments and a bunch of stuff for later in the week as I was walking. And I usually try not to be distracted for too long, like I said earlier, but it's still exercise. It's still movement. Then as soon as I put my phone back in my pocket, I can start to actually really concentrate on doing like an actual walk. Get yourself a weight vest. It can really improve everything that you're trying to do, and great way to elevate the heart rate. In between other exercises, you could simply do body weight squats. You can do some step ups. Imagine doing a bench press workout, and in between the bench press workout, you just decided you're going to do 20 squats with a weighted vest. In between that, going back and forth between those two, heart rate will be jacked the whole time. Or maybe you don't want to do it on bench because you don't want your bench numbers to go down. Do it in between some arm training, some biceps, triceps. Do a set of alternating bicep curls, bam, bam, bam. Set of tricep push downs, boom, 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 boom. In between that, hit some step ups up. Hit them up while you got the weighted vest on, and your heart rate will be jacked, and you'll get like a CrossFit / bodybuilder workout in. Think about the impact that it has when you do lunges. You got a 40-pound vest on. It's just awesome. It can help on any exercise. So I really strongly advise that you get one, and there's nothing like it. And this is an XD vest. This is the one I prefer, because if I really wanted to clamp this baby down, I can have it on so tight that it really won't move anywhere. And the coolest thing about wearing a weight vest is taking it off. That's the best part. But like tomorrow, when I go on my walk, I'll probably do the walk without the weight vest. And then you get to kind of feel, what was it like, with the vest? Oh man, it kind of sucked. Like that was an actual tough workout, as opposed to just going for a stroll. All right, so on this 10-minute walk, I'm going to answer a couple questions that people have had on my Instagram, and people have had some of these questions. They've been popping up over on markbell.com. Thank you so much for all the support over there, by the way. We have a lot of subscribers. The amount of people that have been on there has been really, really exciting to me. So thank you guys so much for your participation. But markbell.com is a spot where you can go and you can learn about my style of workouts that I do now. You can learn about my old school style of workouts, and then we have so much stuff coming up in the future that a lot of you guys and girls will be really pumped about. Programming and a bunch of other stuff coming. Anywho's, you know, what are we going to do when they allow us to get back into the gym? And is there anything we should be cautious of? What we should be watching out for? How do we get started again back in the gym? Well, first thing you need to do is kiss your old numbers goodbye. Now, if you had access to weights, might be a little bit different scenario, but I would suggest whatever the old percentages you used to use for stuff, I would suggest week 1, knock those back about 10%, and then week number 2, if week 1 felt good, you can proceed to add 5% to that. So let's just say you normally did a 5x5, and let's say you use 75% of your max. I'm advocating now that you use 65%. Week 2, you can progress to 70%, and on week 3, you can go back to being the stud that you were before. So that's about how long. It'll actually take about 6 weeks, probably, for you to go back, depending on the person. The more advanced lifter, probably from a mental standpoint, can accelerate faster into what they used to be. I left off at the gym squatting 650 in one of my last workouts. Moved pretty good, and I could probably get back in there and squat 600 for a double or triple right now, and I haven't squatted in a long time. But that's just because I'm an idiot. That's just because I kind of know what it feels like. It's pretty ingrained. Might need to do one workout, but I wouldn't do that because just because it wouldn't be smart, right? Like, what's the reason for it? So that's the other thing, is like, the main thing to be cautious about is, you know, what's your goal? You know, what are you trying to accomplish? What's your intent? What are you trying to do? Are you still holding on to the same goal that you had before of a 315-pound bench, but you haven't benched in 8 weeks? You need to let go of that. You need to not have any goals for a minute. And you need to recalibrate. And you say, okay, well, that was a cool goal to bench 315, but now, you know, after I did a workout and 275 felt like a ton of bricks, my goal is to bench over 3 again, and let me see how that works out. So that'd be the main thing. And your fitness may have decreased a little bit. I mean, there's going to be people putting out videos where they're going to get all kinds of technical on you. They're going to talk about how detrained you are and all these different things, but really the truth is just be cautious. Use some common sense. It doesn't have to be scientific. Detraining does happen in the course of about 3 weeks, and happens even faster in some cases, depending on the type of exercise we're talking about. But just understand, you know, you haven't been in there for a while, and you know, what's the rush? Take your time, get yourself used to everything. If it's been weeks since you've done a deadlift, you know, maybe you take a little extra precaution in your warm-ups. Take a couple extra sets in your warm-ups. Been a couple weeks since you squatted, take a couple extra sets in your squats. I think that sounds pretty straightforward. And then also too, are you changing everything all at once? Like, were you way off your diet? You know, what about your sleep and stuff, you know? Like, give everything a little bit of time to get synchronized again. Give everything time to get coordinated again. And then you can restart. Anyway, that's some of my suggestions on what to do when you get back into the gym. Recalibrate, reassess where you're at. maybe try to establish a new direction that you want to go in that makes sense for where you're at now, and you're not living off of some old goal, because the old goal was in alignment with the things you were doing previously. And at the moment, you probably haven't had the same opportunity to do a lot of the things that you need to do to be in line with the goal that you had before, right? So learn about yourself, get a good feel for those workouts. Strength is never weakness, weakness is never strength. Catch you all later.